Welcome to the Market Mystics podcast, where we discuss what's happening in the cryptosphere and trading on Earth as it is in heaven. Buckle up and huddle on while we dive in and get weird. Here are your hosts, Joshua and Kim.
Welcome, everybody, to Thursday. How's it going, Kim?
Pretty good. We're back on our schedule.
We are back on our schedule for a while. We do have another trip planned in a couple weeks that may detour some of our schedule, but hopefully we will still be able to put some episodes out for you guys.
I hope so. From a different setting. Maybe with different people. Different guests.
Maybe with different people.
Maybe we start a whole new segment of the Market Mystics where we have guests on.
We've had a few.
We've had a few.
Couple.
Right. Yeah, so maybe that will happen. So I'd say stay tuned in July to see what may be playing out then.
Yes.
Right?
Hopefully some good things.
I think so.
All right. Well, today we're just going to kind of discuss some recent headlines, some things that are going on. But before we get into that, let's run over some market updates quickly. So we have Bitcoin up almost 2%, 24 hours, still down almost 10% in 7 days, currently sitting at just over 20,300. We have Ethereum up almost 3% in 24 hours, but still down over 11% in 7 days and sitting at 1,090. And our top mover in the top 100 is Evmos, EVMOS, which we talked about few days ago, a couple episodes ago. It is a Ethereum Cosmos bridge network that is trying to help things function with both of those. It is up 25% in 24 hours, although it is still down 31% in 7 days. So
that one moves a lot.
It does. It seems to be a very volatile coin. So it's up and down and up and down and up and down. And
I was going to say that's big movement for 24 hours. That's big movement for 7 days, but in the opposite directions.
Yes. Yeah. And you see more volatility happen with altcoins usually. But yeah, that is definitely, that's a roller coaster for sure.
For sure. So fun thing we're doing today, I'll just be honest. I didn't feel real pulled in one direction or another on what to talk about today. We had this conversation before. We're just like, oh, what do you want to talk about? I don't know.
What do you want to talk about? I don't know.
I know. So we're just going to do really fun, hopefully really fun, off the cuff conversation about current headlines in the cryptosphere.
Yeah. And this may be the only episode we've done where we really haven't talk to each other about the headlines we're going to talk about before we record. So hopefully it brings some good conversation.
Right. Really will be off the cuff. Or this might be our shortest episode we've ever had. This may be 3 minutes and done.
Hopefully that gets a lot of listens if that's the case.
I know. We could post it on TikTok. The whole thing.
Perfect. All right. Well, what do you have first?
The first one that I was looking at is a headline that says the University of Cincinnati adds crypto courses to their curriculum.
Wow.
So this coming academic year starts in August. They're going to have, I guess they're the latest institution. There are others who have already introduced some of these. But it says they're launching 2 new programs studying cryptocurrency and new financial technologies, thanks to a gift from 2 longtime supporters.
That's super interesting. I would be curious to know, how exactly do you teach that? Are you teaching the technology and creation or, just I have more questions about that, but I'm encouraged to see more mainstream things moving that direction.
Agreed. So it says that blockchain and the underlying application of cryptocurrency is at the cutting edge of business innovation and management. And that's why they're seeing it as important to offer that as a line of study there, which I think is smart. Honestly, with Web3 on kind of the precipice, we're kind of getting there.
Oh.
I think that the education systems were kind of slow to integrate Web 2, even Web 1, like the internet stuff. And so maybe they're learning from those lessons and saying, let's start teaching about it before it's huge and we have to catch up. So I think that's cool. It also says they have, they're calling it a crypto economics lab, which I kind of like. I like that. I do.
Yeah, I like
but
that
it's
a
going to
lot.
feature its own cryptocurrency mining rig.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
So maybe I would say maybe the students can pay for their education while they're learning, but probably it's just going to go to the program and not to the actual students.
I'm sure.
Mm.
Or their textbooks are going to be gold plated at some point.
This is also possible.
If we could just get this market to really take off again, then maybe their textbooks would be gold plated.
I like that. I like it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have an article about a surprising hodler who I would not have expected to be in crypto or a hodler in general. But
Really?
I found an article that says Kiss frontman Gene Simmons
What?
tweeted the other day. He said, I am a hodler. I have not sold a single position since the downturn. I believe in the future, the near future.
I love that. Do you know, especially I love it because of the generation he's from.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I pulled this is I thought it was like it's not surprising. You see people like Michael Saylor or Elon or people who are known for being supporters or, even younger generations who are supporters. But yeah, 72-year-old. That's pretty impressive.
I'm loving it.
And
I
using meme terms. I love that even more.
I know. The place I used to work for when I was in the corporate world, the day before I left, I learned that one of the owners and two of his sons, who also worked there, were hardcore into crypto, which was just at the wrong moment. I'd worked there for 15 years and it would have been nice to know this while I was also like swimming in this stream all alone,
Yeah.
you know? Little did I know that right down the hall were a couple other interested investors and hodlers. But the owner, he is in his late 70s. And when I talked to him about it when I was leaving, he is like hardcore proponent.
Wow.
And he believes in the technology. And I love seeing it from that generation, just because kind of the boomers have gotten to be known as a bit stuck in their ways and not wanting to advance so much. But I mean, my dad's a boomer. He's very much into it. So I love hearing about people in that generation who are still blazing forward. Like they're still for innovation. I like that.
Yeah. Love it.
Yes. What's next? I have another headline about our dearly beloved Terra.
Let's hear it.
So Do Kwon, who is the CEO, the face of Terra, really. The headline says, Terra's Do Kwon says, there's a difference between failing and running a fraud. So he is out again talking about the crash that happened last month. And he's saying that he said that he was devastated by last month's collapse of the Terra USD, which is the UST stablecoin, and the sister token Luna, whom we love so dearly. Expressing his hope that thousands of investors who have been affected by the Terra ecosystem's implosion are taking care of themselves. He's hitting back against some of the accusations that the whole system was a fraud. And he's saying, I just want to say what he's saying, because it sounds like he's really kind of pouring out his heart with this stuff. He says, I made confident bets and made confident statements on behalf of UST because I believed in its resilience and its value proposition. He had this interview with the Wall Street Journal, and he said, I've since lost those bets, but my actions 100% match my words. There's a difference between failing and running a fraud. And honestly, I think it's important that he's coming out and saying this, because there's so much banter out there that's accusing him of running a fraud and having like a large rug pull, and that it was always planned like this. And he's coming out and saying, no, I really had all of my everything in this, and I really believed in it. And I don't know, I'm still on that train too, I guess. I think it was a legitimate project. I think it had promise to be able to be something new and amazing. But I also think that there were some people who wanted to prove it wrong and did so. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. There's lessons to be learned. There's lessons for him as a developer. There's lessons for investors, because sometimes projects do fail.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't go the way you thought they would, but it doesn't mean that the person had like poor intentions. Like, I don't see pictures or information of him like profiting massive amounts of money from this. I believe him when he says he lost most of his net worth in this crash, because I believe that he believed in the project he was working on.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this before, but I think what happens with Terra 2.0 or Luna Classic will
Lunko.
be will be significant, because it'll be his opportunity to build from the crash,
Yeah.
to take the lessons that he learned and to implement them in better ways. And we've seen that before. Like, Ethereum had a massive hack where, large portions were stolen, and they learned a lot about it. Bitcoin has had things like that happen, and they've bettered their blockchain, and they've updated, and they've done these things to improve their systems, and they've survived. I don't know if Luna is going to survive, because it was basically utterly destroyed, but can Do Kwon build something different? Can he build 2.0? Can he partner with another project and take these lessons that he learned and be successful? I think it's up to time to tell whether or not that'll happen or not, but I believe in him.
Same. Can he be the comeback kid? I think it's possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Good. What else do you have?
All right, so this one I thought was interesting. We know we've talked about Jack Dorsey before, and his love of crypto and Bitcoin and blockchain and decentralization. So there is a special division of his company called TBD, um, which is kind of cool. Like, it says TBD is developing. So it's like, okay, so normally we would say like to be determined, but it could be like to be developed, or like, there's all
Mm-hmm.
sorts of cool play on words that you could do with that. But they are working on Web 5, which it
Whoa.
says is an extra decentralized version of the internet that would use Bitcoin's blockchain to give people full control of their online identity and data. and eliminate the need for different accounts for separate apps. And then there's, it's talking about how some people are like, okay, well, why did it skip to Web 5 instead of Web 4? And what's the reason behind that? Um, and then there's a tweet from Snoop Dogg that goes, working on Web 6, I can already smell it. And so I just think it's cool to, when it really gets implemented, it's not really going to have numbers. It's just going to be how the internet functions. But I think it's cool to see that people are innovating. And like, even though we don't fully have a functioning Web3, people are already saying, okay, well, how can I continue to improve and build on that? I think it's really cool to see that, just the continual development and how quickly things are developing.
I love it. I'm going to just include all three of my top 3 crypto influencers in this. It seems like Jack is taking a page out of Elon's playbook in the way he named this division, the TBD. You know how Elon has like the Boring Company?
Yeah.
Just these very obvious names for things that are kind of a bit, they make you laugh a little bit. I think this is amazing, honestly. Instead of saying, what is ahead? Let's focus on that. They're saying, what is ahead? And let's go beyond that.
Yeah.
And that might, to me, that speaks of why he skipped Web 4. It's because he's saying, no, I'm saying, we're saying, here's what we're expecting, but we're still continuing on with that thought. So I like that. I think that is amazing. I think that is the way in which things should go. I mean, honestly, to hear you could have one login for everything you do, that would be amazing.
Yes.
Just before this call, I was trying to log into an account and having a very hard time because, well, it turns out I didn't have an account yet. But I was going through all of the different things that could possibly be my username and password and all the things. And just to have, oddly, a centralized login for the most decentralized way of storing things, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be really cool. So what makes me think of a bit is, okay, so the first airplane flight happened in 1903, and we landed on the moon in 1969. So 66 years apart. That's a really short amount of time from being land bound to going to the moon. And I sort of think we're in that time in technology, crypto for one, but just technology in general, where, I mean, within my lifetime, computers became mainstream. They became the personal computer where every home had one. Now everyone carries a computer in their pocket that's more powerful than what took us to the moon. Like, that's already crazy. But I think we're seeing that with technology and crypto, where we're in this boom where things are advancing so quickly that the airplane that was made yesterday is already outdated. The technology that's made yesterday is already outdated. I mean, we see that with our phones. I mean, sure, some of it's consumerism and they want us to buy a new phone every year. Yes, that's true. But some of it is technology is advancing so quickly that by the time you buy something, there's already something better. And that's where we're going, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And like, I don't want the mindset of, well, I'm just going to wait for the final thing. Like, no, I want to be a part of it. I want to participate in what's going on because we're in a really exciting time. There's so many opportunities in life right now with technology, with crypto, that, I mean, just this, we're recording this meeting on Zoom. Like, Zoom video calls, video technology, like, has exploded in the past 2-3 years. I mean, largely big out of necessity, but that's what's going to happen. Is there will be things that happen in our society, in our culture, in our economy that will drive innovation to take something that already exists and make it better. And that's where we're sitting. And I think it's really awesome.
Super awesome. I like that. I think you're absolutely right. And I think we're in the sweet spot where we can kind of go along for the ride. And you can either choose to sit back and watch it, or you can choose to step and participate.
Mhm.
And I think I also I want to participate. This
Yeah.
is why I think this is the why the great love for cryptocurrency. I love that there's a new system being built. I love that it takes what was there and makes it better. It tries to solve the issues that have hindered us in the current system we have. And it really is thinking outside the box. And I am all for that. All for that.
I agree.
Mhm.
All right. You got anything else? Or are we wrapping up?
Let's wrap it up.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We will see you on Monday for another Mystic Monday. Until then, enjoy your weekend.
Sweet. Have a good one. Thank you for listening. Join us every Monday and Thursday as we discuss trading on earth as it is in heaven. If you want to connect further, follow us on social media at market.mystics for Instagram and TikTok, and search for Market Mystics on YouTube and Facebook. If you still need more, follow the link on Facebook to book a coaching appointment. Until next time, see ya.